Hey everybody out there, my name is Dirk from the Prime XPT Trading Academy, and on today's episode of That Crypto Show, I want to get out the crystal ball from the drawer and talk about whether or not we are going to still see 100,000 US dollars in Bitcoin and 10,000 US dollars in Ethereum. So stay tuned and I'll see you in around about 20 seconds. Hey, welcome back. Good to see you again. So, I think in times like this, where we see Bitcoin slumping down first all the way from 53,000 to 40,000 US dollar, then a bit of a recovery just to see a huge volatility swing again down from 48 to under 40,000. Now recovering then to around about 44,000 US dollars. I think in times like this, sometimes it's very important to zoom out a little bit, not so much look at the daily charts and the daily up and downs, but zoom out, gain a little bit of perspective, and look at the more longer term development of cryptocurrencies. For this today, I want to have a quick look at 4 different models out there that propose that the best is still to come in 2021, with Bitcoin going to a minimum target of 100,000 and Ethereum to a minimum target of 10,000 US dollars. We are going to mainly concentrate here on models that predict a price for Bitcoin because there's so much more in terms of modeling out there than for Ethereum currently. But everything that applies to Bitcoin will definitely apply to Ethereum also, probably also with more leverage to the upside. So before we start, a very, very quick look at the outcome of the Fed interest rate decision yesterday. So as expected, no change in the interest rate. And I think the headline here from CNBC sums it up very good, the speech of Jerome Powell. Federal Reserve concluded its September meeting on Tuesday and said it may soon begin the process of slowing its asset purchases. So the Fed is still not tapering. They are still going to purchase bonds on the market in the vicinity of around about 120 billion US dollars every month. And this is really like adding oil to the fire of the market. So we saw the stock markets recovering. And along with that, like I also predicted yesterday already, we saw Bitcoin attacking the area of 44,000 again. So everything fine, like the recent fear of the crisis from Evergrande from China spreading up through the markets is a little bit off the table. Doesn't mean it's off the table forever, but it is for now, at least maybe for this week. So, and we are in a sentiment of extreme fear at the moment. And as you guys know, this sentiment always at some point is going to be probably also the area where the market will change into the opposite direction again. And this goes very much in line with some of the models out there that say that the best in terms of price development is still to come for Bitcoin either this year until end of December or possibly until the first quarter of 2022. And I think the most prominent model out there really is the stock to flow model created by a Twitter user that goes by the handle Plan B. So if you want to follow him on Twitter, you can do so. Look for Plan B. Has a lot of good insights. Is a quantitative analyst, so knows his way around statistical model. And he has this model which, in my opinion, explains what the price development since 2010 of Bitcoin very, very good. And this model is predicting a price of 100,000 US dollars actually right now already. So in this vicinity from 2021 to 2024 for this cycle of the current halving of Bitcoin. And one thing really I like very much about this is that this guy Plan B really, he puts the, he's not very vague on price targets. He really pinpoints like when is he expecting which price. And this is a post he did on the 20th of June this year, where he said, okay, in August, I think we're going to close above 47,000. He nailed that one. Then he said September, maybe a bit lower, but we're going to close above 43,000. We are lower than we were in August, but we are above 43 at the moment. So let's see how that plays out within the last week of December. And then it really gets interesting here for October, November, and December, where he says October we will close above 63,000, November above 98,000, December above 135,000. And this is always his worst case scenario, by the way. So this post is from the 20th of June when we were still like in the super bear market. So pretty impressive. And if you are a believer in the stock to flow model, well, then according to him, the best is yet to come from this year. Another model really prominent out there is something called the golden ratio by a Twitter user that goes by misconfig underscore exe. So I also highly recommend following him. Has some good insights. A bit more on the technical side here. I don't want to go too much into detail here, but he also says that there is always a bottom in the so-called wave 4. I assume this comes from Elliott wave analysis, maybe, that we just had, and that the next wave up always is multiples above wave 4. And if you look in the past here, you can see that in the last cycle, so to say, to the last all-time high at 20K back then in 2017, this last wave was 10 times above the wave 4. In 2014 or 13, it was even 17 times above. And if we just take like if we say now round about, let's say 40,000 was the current low here of this wave 4 bottom, and if we just take in account a 5 times multiple above wave 4, that would take us in Bitcoin into the vicinity of 200,000 US dollars. So another model that is extremely positive about where we should be heading now in the second half of 2021. So this model really says within the next month, we're not talking about years of development, of price development, we're talking about months, possibly December 2021, maybe end of first quarter of 2022. Very interesting. Another one really worthwhile, in my opinion, following on Twitter, hashtag the rational route, who has this wonderful graph called a Bitcoin spiral based on halving. So he's tracking the price here in those spirals, starts at a fraction of a cent and goes until 1 million. The tracking you see here, the red line, are the blocks mined. And he kind of measures like how many blocks are there always between one all-time high and the next all-time high. And he also predicts that somewhere in this area between 7th of February 2022 and 11th of March 2022, we should see another all-time high in Bitcoin. So this also goes very much in line. And by the way, this all-time high should be somewhere around the vicinity of 100,000 US dollars. Then the bear market would come again, and then the next cycle that starts in 2024 would lead us to $1 million US per Bitcoin. So, and it's always one thing people like to reply when looking at models like this is people have a very hard time imagining how fast those moves sometimes can be. And if we zoom out here a little bit in Bitcoin, so, and we don't have to zoom out that far actually, we can, for example, see just like 2 months ago when we bottomed out here at 30,000, we saw a very quick move just within a matter of days up to 43,000 US dollars. So that was a move of 30% just in a week and a half. It can go very fast. If you zoom out even more and we go maybe a little bit back, and actually not that far back to the beginning of 2021, where we were here in the vicinity also of 30,000 US dollars. It took us under 1 month to go from 30,000 to 60,000 almost. So we doubled within a month, the price of Bitcoin doubled. And if you zoom out a little bit more, you just need to go back to the beginning of December of 2020. Also here, just roughly 1 month of movement to go all the way from down here, 17,000 up to the top at 42,000 US dollars. So this is even more than doubled. This is like 150% of movement already. So things can go really rather quickly. And if you imagine this move taking off now also in Bitcoin, this would take us from 44,000 within just a month to 85,000 or 88,000. That is, if it's in exactly dollars. So things can really move very fast. And I think this is something to keep in the back of your head. Not only the move is down in Bitcoin can be very fast, but the volatility swings upwards can be just as fast. So this is something always to be prepared for, and especially be prepared for when we are in this area of extreme fear, where nobody really wants to have Bitcoin anymore. And I'm talking about the more short-term traders here that are affected by this. So I'm not saying, of course, this is what is going to happen, but I want you to keep in the back of your mind that this is a potential scenario for the rest of 2021, potentially for the beginning of 2022. Of course, this needs to take into account that there are no black swan events around the corner in the vicinity of Evergrande totally defaulting the Chinese economy. I'm exaggerating now a little bit. So nothing like this comes as a surprise around the corner, or yeah, because this is of course something people are not expecting then. So maybe, leave that as a little bit of positivity within all those negative news we are hearing at the moment of Bitcoin. So the crystal ball really here on my desk, dreaming a little bit. And for sure, in December, we are going to look back and see if any of those predictions really came true. Until then, have a good day, take care, use a stop loss, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.